So now let's go on. So I have now done this. So we are going to go to the simulation mode. So you just click on simulation mode from here. So I go to simulation mode, and then I would have to click on play. Okay. So once I click on play, it tries to simulate network traffic and all of that. Now, let me just click on one of the devices. So you can see them coming up. So you have switch one and all of those things. Now, let me click on just, okay, okay, sure. So let me click on one of them. And then you can see that you have, when you click, what I have here basically happens to be, you can see the OSI model, and it tells me what is actually happening currently at the first switch, which is switch 0. Okay, it tells me source is coming from switch 0, and this is what an STP multicast address. It tells me what type of traffic is basically being sent across. But then this is what I'm interested in. Layer 2, it tells you IEEE 80.3 header, right? And what do we find inside that particular header? I told you in layer 3, we are working with what? Source MAC addresses and stuff like that, right? So we can see that we have MAC address here, which will be the PC's MAC address and wherever it is basically going. And that's the protocol type which is being sent. It tells you it is an STP, that's a spanning tree protocol BPD that is basically being sent around, okay? And it tells you the process. So if you want to read it out, it tells you what is actually happening here. It tells you the spanning tree process sends out a configuration BPDU. The device encapsulates the BPDU into an what? Ethernet frame. The switch unicast the frame out to the access what? Port. The STP process sends out the configuration BPDU. The device encapsulates. So that's basically what is happening in here, right? It just gives you the process. So that's it. So this is the current layer we are dealing with. If you want to see the next layer, what happens? You tell it tells you where it is sending it out to. It's sending it out on these physical frames. Now let's look out on the next device. Let me choose a device here. Let me pick, for instance, the router. Where's the router? Yeah. Let me, for instance, pick a device like the router. Or let me just go to the next. Oh, good. Good. So let's see here. So you realize that over here at the router, we don't see anything happening here. Okay, so these are in layers, out layers. The router, nothing, because a router doesn't work at layer 2. So you realize you don't see anything actually happening for the router on this particular layer, right? But let's look at a proper layer 3 process and see if we'll see something else there. Let me go to the next thing. Okay, sorry. I didn't define a routing protocol here, so we might not really see much. Okay, okay, but let's go to the PC and see what we see here in here. Okay, come in a minute. I'm trying to get you another layer interaction for us to see what's happening. No, I'm not getting. When I saw spanning tree, I need to generate a different type of traffic. Okay. Okay, there's a different type of traffic. Okay. It's here. But then for us to see other information, assuming this was a full-blown network, what would have gotten was we could have simulated something like an, okay, let me see if I can do that. Let me go to desktop here. And then there's a server, right? Let me check what services are running in here. If you have any service running like the, okay. So HTTP is on. Okay, fine. So what I'm going to do is I'm going on this PC and then I'll try to kind of pick a web page from this server and let's see what happens. So I go to the web browser and then I just enter the server's IP address, which happens to be 192.168.1.2. Let's go, let's see what happens. Good. You realize when I try to do that browser connection thing, a lot of things are happening. Currently, you can see ARP going on in there. We can see TCP and all of these other informations are going out there. Let me just click on one of it from the PC so we can see what actually happens here. So we can see it sends an ARP packet first because it's trying to discover who that particular device is. We look at switching, when we look at it, we'll understand some of these things. It's trying to look at who that particular device is. It learns about the device and it tells me what the header is. It learns MAC addresses and stuff like that. And good. So let me look at the next traffic. That's what I'm looking for, HTTP. Okay. So it tells us what traffic it's looking out for. It's HTTP client. It tells the port on which it's being sent out to. Right, so basically this is what simulation mode allows you to do in packet trace. At least you can actually analyze proper traffics and see what you're doing. It looks a little bit messy. It takes a while for you to play around with it and see what's going on, but then it simulates real network connections for you to see what is actually happening on your devices. Right. Okay. Are we good? Are we all good? Are we good? Good. That's what I was looking for. So when you look at this header here, there's more of it, right? So you see what's happening here. So you have various things that are being added. So you have a TCP source port. We have the destination port of what? 80. You can see the IP header. It tells you where it's coming from. So the IP header happens to be 192.168. It tells you the destination, right? It's intended to what? 192.168.1.2. And then you would see the Ethernet header as well, which are basically the MAC addresses, and then the physical ports to which it goes out. So this is the OSI layers that we are basically talking about. You see, you don't really get any information about 7, 6, and 5 because I told you that doesn't really take part of it. It's the data in there that is being encapsulated into all of these other ones, right? And if you can see the handshake also going on in here. The TCP thing I told you out there. You can see the TCP. It tells you the device closes the connection to blah, blah, blah on port 80. The device sets the connection state to fin wait. The device sends a TCP fin ACK segment. You get it? So this is basically what we are talking about out there. So you can see the OSI working out. Later on, try as much as possible to draw the configuration or to draw the topology yourself and play around with it. At least once you play around with it, you get to see what is actually happening, right? Are we good? Are we all good? Can you respond to? I know you are still here with me.
Yeah, we are good.
Okay, sure. Ransford, Stephen, Red. Okay. Okay, sure. So please kindly try it out. Joe, I know it's a little bit complex, but then I would want you to play around with it. No need to worry about command prompt configurations. Just pick a couple of devices and graphically set the, how do you call it? Set the IP addresses on them. Okay, so for those who, if you have forgotten how to do it, just click on a device and then you go to the configuration tab here. Then you can just set an IP address on the device. Then you can play around with it at least. So you can do set an IP address on the server, set an IP address on the PC. You can do same for your routers. Now on the routers, we couldn't cross over to this side because I didn't define a routing protocol between them, which we really haven't gotten there yet. But then at least for this portion of your network, you should be able to play around with them and see what actually happens on that point. Right. I trust we are good. Okay, sure. Okay, so I believe today has been a fruitful class. It's been quite a short one. I have to be at Tema, so I would plead of you to let us run it up here. It's already 9:40. I should be leaving by 10:30, so we'll try and continue tomorrow. But then kindly try your hands on this, and then we'll see what the issue is. If you have any problems, let me know. But at least familiarize yourself with the packet tracer environment and stuff like that. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, sure. So thank you so much. So I think this week, tomorrow will be our last class for the week. So we'll continue hopefully tomorrow morning. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, sure. Thank you guys for coming, and I'll see you tomorrow. I know OSI model, TCP models, they are quite
Okay,
very
thank you.
lengthy topics, but then you just take your time and try and understand them. Okay. If you have issues to you, let me know. Okay.
So the Google Classroom, how do I get a link to the Google
Okay.
Classroom?
I invited you. I've sent you an invite. So when you check your, you should see an invite. When you click on it, it would ask you to either download. Would you be doing it from a PC or from your phone?
Oh, from the phone.
From the phone, yeah. So if you do it from the phone, it would ask you to download the Classroom app, and then it's a very simple process. But check your mail. I sent you. I sent it yesterday. If you check your mail, you should see it. There's an invitation link there.
Wow.
Yeah, can kindly check it.
Okay.
You should see an invitation link, and then you can follow through from there. Then you can have access to the class and all the files. But you don't see your assignments there yet. I would likely work on your assignments later in the day today when I come back. So you see all the assignments posted there, so you can try your hands on them.
Okay. Uh,
Okay, sure. Thank you so much. Thank you everybody for coming.
uh,